ಸುರೇಶ್ ಕುಮಾರ್ ಅವರೇನೋ ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ರಲ್ಲ, ಒಂದು 4 ದಿವಸ ಖುಷಿ ಪಡ್ಬೋದು, ಖುಷಿ ಪಡಲಿ, ನಂದೇನು ಅಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಷನ್.
There's only one way in which the governor can uphold the constitution, and that is by inviting Shri H.D. Kumaraswamy to form the government.
The Karnataka suspense may have ended, but the natak clearly is far from over. Earlier this evening, in fact, the governor dashed JDS and Congress's hope and picked the single largest party, that is the BJP, to form the government. And that has not gone down well as expected with the Congress and the JDS. First up on the show, let me tell you the 5 big developments that has taken place in this politically charged evening. B.S. Yedurappa gets to keep his date with his lucky number 17. He will be taking oath at Raj Bhavan at 9 a.m. tomorrow. The governor has given Yedurappa 15 days to prove his majority. Remember, they are 8 seats short of a majority number, that is the halfway mark of 113. The Congress and JDS are not taking any chances and are keeping their MLAs under lock and key. In resorts, Congress sources say the Supreme Court judgment in the Goa case is final and binding on the governor under Article 141 of the Constitution. The BJP has hit back and said the Supreme Court is clear that the Vidhan Sauda is the forum where majority will be tested. Let's first listen in to what the Congress spokesperson Surjewala is saying.
From a post-poll coalition, and how did the governor permit you then to form the government superseding the Congress party which had the single largest majority? We want to ask you, Shri Amit Shah, if 2 parties cannot come together in a post-poll coalition and form a government, then how did you form a government in the state of Meghalaya when BJP had only 2 legislators, Congress had 21 legislators and was the single largest party, and BJP had fought against NPEP, UDP, PDF and HSD-PDP, the 4 political parties. How did you form a post-poll coalition and then form a jointly a government superseding the single largest party? If 2 parties can't come together in a post-poll coalition, as BJP now claims, our question to you, Shri Amit Shah, and to Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi is, then how did you form a government in Manipur, where Congress was the single largest party with 28 legislators, and BJP was a distant second with 21 legislators? How did you form a post-poll coalition and the single largest party, Congress party, was superseded for formation of a government? The truth, my friends, is that Shri Amit Shah and Shri Narendra Modi today sanctioned encounter of the Constitution, encounter of the law, an encounter of all settled precedents, permitting a post-poll coalition to form the government at the instance of Governor of Karnataka, Shri Vajubhai Wala. Governor has shamed the office of the governor. Governor has trampled upon the Constitution. Governor has subjugated the law. Governor has negated all the precedents. And I don't think so. Such a person has right, moral or constitutional, even for a day to continue to hold the office.
A strong attack coming there from the Congress party against the governor of Karnataka, who has invited B.S. Yedurappa, who will be sworn in as the chief minister tomorrow. So 75-year-old B.S. Yedurappa will be in fact keeping his date with the number 17. The BJP though plans to keep it a low-key affair. The oath ceremony is likely to be symbolic. Let's get a quick update from Bengaluru. Joining us live, Stacey is joining us from outside Raj Bhavan. Deepa is from the Congress office, and in fact we also have Revati, who is joining us from Eagleton, where all the Congress MLAs have been kept there so that there cannot be any poaching. Deepa, I'm coming to you. Finally, the call has been made on BSY. B.S. Yedurappa will be sworn in tomorrow He had asked for 7 days, Deepa. He has been given 15 days to prove his majority. What is the ceremony going to be like? Will Amit Shah and Prime Minister be traveling for this? And how many ministers will be sworn in tomorrow?
Well, in all likelihood, a very low-key affair, though a couple of BJP MLAs have actually tweeted out seeking public support, saying that people must come together in large numbers for this celebration of the BJP taking oath of office. Inside the Raj Bhavan, there will be severe restrictions. The oath-taking event is inside the Raj Bhavan, and it will be probably just Yediyurappa himself to take oath of office. Nobody else is likely to join him in taking oath of office as ministers of the cabinet or anything. All that will be left for post-majority that they will prove in the floor of the House. What we're also hearing is that the Prime Minister neither the Prime Minister nor BJP National President Amit Shah will be present for that.
Deepa, we'll try and fix that audio with you. Let me quickly get in Stacey. Stacey, you know, the BJP in its defense says that the S.R. Bomai judgment of 1994 is very clear that the governor has to invite the leader of the party, which single largest party. They're also saying that Sarkaria Commission 1998 also says the same, that the leader of the single largest party must be invited. The Congress also says that they have enough and more precedents to say that the governor is working right now as the stooge of the BJP. What is the governor's defense? We were told that through the day he held a number of meetings and talks with several legal luminaries. He also dialed the former Attorney General Mukul Rohatgi.
That's right. That's what the governor did. He did keep everyone guessing right till the very end, and which is when we saw this letter that finally came out, before which there was already celebrations probably at the BJP office, where you saw them put out tweets saying that yes, it will be B.S. Yediyurappa taking the oath as the chief minister tomorrow. But what the governor has done, like you mentioned, the Bomai case, what the BJP are claiming is, you know, what is right and which is why they have been invited to form the government, whereas you have the Congress and the JDS, the coalition there, who are going to use perhaps, you know, the instances of Manipur and Goa, which the BJP did to form the governments in those states. So you're going to see both these play out. We also know that both Congress and JDS said that, you know, if they are not invited, they are going to look at the legal route. So things from just, you know, it's just the starting of things, one can say perhaps, because we are definitely, they're not going to just be mute spectators. We are probably going to see the legal route being taken now that we know that it's official that the invite has come from Governor Vajubhai Wala to B.S. Yediyurappa, and he will indeed swear in as Chief Minister tomorrow at 9 o'clock here at Raj Bhavan.
Okay, let me bring in Revati now. Revati, the Congress party is saying, in fact, senior party leaders have said that the judgment in the Goa case dated 14/3/2017 is the last and final declaration of law. It is binding on the governor under Article 141 of the Constitution. Are they preparing to approach the court tonight itself?
While the Congress has not officially made that clear to us at this point, but they did mention in more than one way that they are looking at all the possibilities of tackling this at this point, constitutionally and legally. And each of these MLAs we've been speaking to, who has gone inside the Eagleton resort at this point, said that they are under a political compulsion to come together, under a political compulsion to also stay together at this point, and that the constitutional representative has not acted according to the provisions of the Constitution. So they will have to really act quick at this point to ensure that their MLAs don't switch sides on one side, and secondly to get in a favorable sort of a response, whether they move constitutionally and legally as well. At this point, the governor's office has clearly said that Yediyurappa has 15 days time to prove his majority. Now that is a long time as far as the parties are concerned, for both the JDS and the Congress, who have claimed that BJP has approached several of his MLAs. So if it's just 5 or 6 days too, that is a long time, and it's 15 days time, which means that we'll be expecting more drama and more of the resort politics at this point.
Yes, let me bring in Deepa. Deepa, you know, B.S. Yediyurappa had asked for 7 days, and what he got from the governor is 15 days to prove his majority. The question that I had asked earlier, what is going to be the ceremony like tomorrow, and will senior party leaders from Delhi be travelling as well, and how many ministers will be sworn in?
B.S. Yediyurappa is likely to be the only person who's taking oath of office tomorrow at the Raj Bhavan. It's going to be a pretty low-key affair inside the Raj Bhavan. Though a couple of the BJP MLAs have actually, asked for public support, asked people to gather in large numbers for the celebration. I really doubt that is going to happen outside the Raj Bhavan itself. Inside Raj Bhavan, it will be pretty muted with selective guests who are allowed inside, and Yediyurappa himself taking oath of office, and not with any other cabinet ministers per se. Neither the national president of the BJP, Amit Shah, nor Prime Minister Modi are expected to be travelling for this. But yes, you made an interesting point about the 7 days being sought. 7 days' time is what Yediyurappa had sought from the governor to prove his majority on the floor of the House, where the best test of a majority can be done. How is it that the governor has actually given him 15 days? That has already raised suspicions and doubts within the Congress about the governor's bias for two reasons. One is that usually when somebody comes out and asks for a particular time frame to actually prove his majority in the floor of the House, either he is given 48 hours or 72 hours. At the most, he is given a week. This is what one of the Congress spokespersons who has been part of the strategy for the Karnataka campaign was telling us just a short while ago. 15 days is really unheard of. So is he really giving more time and more of a leeway for the Congress now, for the BJP now, to actually allow poaching or horse trading from other parties? That's one big concern for both Congress and the JDS. Second, of course, they are citing a 2006 Supreme Court judgment in this regard, saying that the governor cannot refuse permission where a coalition of parties has actually, enough numbers to have a simple majority and perhaps a little more, and that should be given the priority as far as government formation is concerned. This is a Supreme Court judgment of 2006 in a different case, and they are saying that this is their best argument in their defense.
All right, Deepa Balakrishnan, Stacey and Revati, thanks so much for joining us. This remains our top focus. So tomorrow is the day when B.S. Yediyurappa will be sworn in as the Chief Minister. It will be a low-key affair. Just he inside Raj Bhavan who will be taking oath to office. He has been given 15 days to prove his majority. The Congress is saying that the governor is acting like a karyakarta of the BJP. He's acting as a stooge of the BJP. That remains our top focus, but we are slipping into a short break. Coming up next is our debate, and our big newsmaker, Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti, has spoken to us live and exclusively on what she thinks about this ceasefire during the month of Ramzan. historic day for the valley. The centre has ordered for a suspension of operations in Jammu and Kashmir to ensure that citizens have a peaceful Ramzan. While the army has issued a rider that they will retaliate if attacked, it's a significant move that will hopefully help bring in peace in the valley. And now we have the biggest newsmaker of Jammu and Kashmir, Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti, who has spoken exclusively to Mufti Islam. Listen in.
Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti has the toughest job in the country. But today she feels vindicated because Centre has announced a ceasefire. Ma'am, your first reaction, congratulations to you for pursuing this.
Well, I think, it is something, the credit should go to the people of the state and all the parties who participated in the all-party meeting, and there was a consensus was built on this, that there has to be cessation of operations by the forces, especially during the month of Ramadan, so that people feel a sense of relief. And I'm, thankful to the Prime Minister Modi ji and also the Home Minister Rajnath ji for taking, personal interest in this, and making it, making this cessation of operations possible.
Ma'am, they've announced it for period of Ramadan, which is 1 month. I'm sure that you would like it to be extended because Amarnath Yatra is taking place.
Well, I hope there is a positive response from the other side. The Pakistan should also think about it in the same way as a holy month of Ramadan, so that people should get some relief. Even the militants, should give a positive response. I hope that there is some kind of positive contribution on Pakistani side and on the sides of, from militant side, so that there is a full-fledged, cessation of hostilities from both the sides, on both the sides, and people, there is an end to this bloodshed that has been happening for so many years now. So a lot depends on the other side also.
I know that you have been pursuing the army, the police also, as head of the unified command also, to kind of hold fire and not go aggressive. But clearly this is a huge step. Will it have impact on the ground if militants also agree? Although there is also this sad news which is coming that apparently Lashkar has rejected this.
Well, see, this is something for the people, of the state to think. If there is a, stoppage of operations from the side of the forces. So if the militants still continue to attack, that means, they don't want to end this bloodshed. That means, the ball is in their court now. Now, what's going to be their response? Because if they don't stop it, if they don't, respond or receive this unilateral cessation of operations from this side positively and still continue to, attacks, then it's very unfortunate for the people of my state, who are getting killed each and every day, and it will not have the desired result that we are looking for.
Young and educated boys joining militancy, is it a cause of worry? Because these kids, after all, when there is an encounter, they get killed also. Although I know that police is trying to make them surrender. That was a policy under your government.
Any local boy, any young boy, whether he is educated, whether he is illiterate, or he is, employed, joining militancy is a cause of worry for us, because ultimately we lose these kids to the, to the violence. So no mother, I'm also a mother of 2 daughters, so no mother would like to see her kids getting killed like this. And we hope that this step from the central government today to stop these military operations for this month of Ramadan has a positive impact.
Pakistan has a huge role in this because they, after all, are a party and they have apparently links with militants also. They could perhaps play a hand in this. Would you make an appeal to them also?
I would definitely make an appeal to Pakistan that let them, contribute positively in this, this decision that has been taken by the government of India.
Do you think that if, peace prevails in the valley, the next logical step would be perhaps to hold a dialogue, a whole process of dialogue?
Let's take one step at a time, because I think it's too early. Let's see how this, step taken by the government of India, what kind of response we get from the other side, and also how much we are able to restore the confidence of the people.
One step at a time, that's what the Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir has to say. Let's not forget that this cessation of operations happened in 2000 as well. How will it be playing out this year? Will militants actually stop terror activities? The fear is, will it lead to regrouping of terror groups? Joining us now, Junaid Mattu is the spokesperson of the National Conference. He's joining me here in the studio. Lieutenant General Atta Hasnain is a strategic affairs analyst. Najmu Saqib is a member of the PDP. Syed Babar Qadri is a lawyer. And Mufti Islah is Jammu and Kashmir Bureau Chief, who got us that exclusive interview. General Hasnain, would you say that this is the wisest confidence-building measure that the Modi government can offer to the people of Jammu and Kashmir at this point in time?
Maria, thank you. First of all, I am confident in what I'm saying that yes, this is definitely a very, very good step which has been taken. It's got the backing of all the political parties in Jammu and Kashmir. And while there were apprehensions about it at the center and the media reports initially indicated some degree of negativity, I'm glad that all that is behind us and actually a positive step has been taken. But I would like to offer one major comment on this. I am still very apprehensive about the understanding that exists in the environment about what step has actually been taken.
That's right.
People are all imagining that this is a ceasefire. This is not a ceasefire. It is a suspension of operations, as the Chief Minister has correctly said. In fact, it is a suspension of offensive operations. In fact, you will be surprised, most people are not aware that the army actually carries out far more activities during the suspension of operations than it does even in normal time when it is carrying out its operations. All domination, intelligence operations and everything continues. Counter-infiltration will continue. The only thing which will not happen is the targeting of terrorists in the form of offensive operations such as cordon and search or search and destroy operations. For example, if you find that a terrorist goes past a army post and is not carrying weapons, we will not take any action against him. But if there are armed terrorists who are operating and openly flaunting their weaponry, obviously action will be taken against them. So there seems to be some apprehension in the environment as to why this step has been taken without understanding that this step is probably the most positive step which has been taken in sending home a message of peace to the people. I only wish that the announcement had also catered for the Amarnath Yatra right at this point itself.
General Hasnain, would you say that Army Chief, what he has said, that how will the security forces' right to defend be guaranteed? You know, that is a misplaced apprehension?
Maria, I think that may be a misplaced apprehension in the minds of the environment outside. That is not a misplaced apprehension in the minds of the soldiers or the army chief or any of his officers. We are very clear. When it comes to the security of our men, that is a priority. And at any time, we will always operate to ensure self-defense and the security of our men.
Okay, Syed Babar Qadri, would you ensure that the kind of support that is given to stone pelters by separatists will also stop so that this entire cessation of operations is actually a success and that there is peace in the valley during the month of Ramzan?
Madam, I am very much surprised with the statements, rather clarifications given by Chief Minister Mahbooba Mufti ji and now further interpreted by Major General Hasnain Saab. I don't know what is this. Is this suspension or it is still a confrontation or it is a ceasefire? Whether there is in the history an event like this, that ceasefire or suspension of operations are announced on media without having any, homework, without having any track to diplomacy. I'm surprised with this.
So you
kind
are
of a
saying
move,
that
but
Najmu Saqib should defend that. Najmu Saqib, so the gentleman sitting next to you says that you have not done your homework and that it is only a media announcement without preparations on the ground.
Well, Maria, let's not get swayed by the semantics of the whole thing. This initiative is the acceptance of the pain of Kashmiri and the circus of death that has been going on for too long, and understanding and continuous pursual by the Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti, and Delhi has also agreed on this particular page. But this is a step towards confidence building measures and the withdrawal of democracy that was happening. We need to resuscitate and rejuvenate the political process in Jammu and Kashmir, as well as at the same time a dialogue process needs to be initiated, which can go parallel between Delhi and Srinagar, as well as Delhi and Pakistan to a very considerable extent if we have to. So the momentum is being built. There's a lot of groundwork that is happening around. There is honesty from Government of India, as was displayed today by the statement that was issued by Home Minister of India. So I think this needs to be built upon. There are a lot of work needs to happen more, but I think there needs to be some honesty from the other side as well.
So this is perhaps a small ray of light after multiple bleak summers.
Well, sure, you can't actually dismiss it. We did welcome
we tried in hard measures. There were a lot of policies that were adapted last year. We saw the results of it. There is this continuous recalibration of approach, as we can say it. So a forward momentum is being built upon. We appreciate Dr. Farooq Abdullah's statement praising Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti for her continuous pursuit.
But will it actually lead to de-escalation on ground? Will it actually lead to de-escalation on ground? Mufti Islah, you are there on ground. One moment, let me get Mufti Islah on this. Mufti, would you say that this kind of measure, yes, it's a goodwill gesture, but if it's not reciprocated, then it doesn't really appear as a goodwill gesture. Let's not forget that what has happened in the case of amnesty that has been given to first-time, stone pelters, offenders of that kind of a crime. So, that has backfired. Do you think this kind of measure is a welcome move, and particularly that is coming in the month of Ramzan, starting tomorrow?
Look, for this you need to really engage Pakistan, because Pakistan directly or indirectly controls the militant outfits who operate out of Pakistan occupied Kashmir, and clearly if you don't have them on the board, this is not going to prosper. But for that you really need New Delhi to reach out to Islamabad and get them also on the board, apart from the Hurriyat leadership, which is also which can play really an active role in this. That said, this is a huge step as of now, but needs to be really contributed by people on the ground, that is militants, and also by Pakistan. And Delhi really needs to engage with the separatists out here, the stone pelters for that matter, as also reach out to Islamabad.
Will that be happening?
Because what happens on the ground, I can tell you, what happens on the ground is that, since last year, the army and police together have been able to kill some 250 militants. But what is happening on the ground, that 300 more have joined. So it's a kind of a zero-sum game. And unless, you reach out to all these, players, peace will not prevail in the valley. And if, for example, peace really prevails, given that although Lashkar has really said that they're not going to agree to this, but if militants contribute towards peace, then you will have really the next process, which is the dialogue, which really will help.
Mufti Islah, they're saying that this is perhaps the first step. What should be followed is a well thought out strategy which should also include engaging with separatists. Has that been even thought about by your government and the government at the center? Are you open to that idea?
Well, I think this is our agenda of alliance is very clear about things that and we really appreciate in the all-party meeting, all political parties accepting that that agenda of alliance is a solution to a lot of problems, and it is a solution. So there we go. I mean, there has to be. I mean, this is just a step that we have taken in right direction. So response from the other side has to be. They also have to take into account, because this is a pro-people measure. It's a holy month of Ramadan. So people need some respite, from killing and
besides relief to the residents.
Well, I mean, it's too early to say, we do welcome the announcement of the cessation of operations.
I mean, let's not forget what happened in 2000.
Yes, with the whole Majid Dar episode.
And you were there in government with Mr. Vajpayee in the center, and it led to escalation.
No, I mean, the ceasefire wasn't followed through. It led to escalation, but we are forgetting that there was a reciprocation from a faction of the Hizbul Mujahideen. But that couldn't be followed on in the years after that. It is a welcome development in so much as that this could be a first step for the central government and the state government to realize that a purely operational and military approach to Kashmir is not yielding any results empirically and politically. I heard the Chief Minister say that, one step at a time, and this could be a first step. Engagement with stakeholders. So I don't think that 3 years later she can come back and say one step at a time. She's already 3 years late. We welcome this move, but if this
perhaps it's coming too late.
If this cessation is going to last for 30 days, what after Ramadan? We have seen that there is no clear reciprocation from the other side. It would be hypocritical of all mainstream parties to suggest that if the militant organizations don't reciprocate, that is somehow justified. If they don't reciprocate, then it is not a ceasefire.
In fact, there is a big breaking that is coming with the development that is happening in Karnataka, and what's coming right now is that the midnight drama is far from over. The Congress is seeking hearing in the Supreme Court tonight on its petition against the Karnataka governor's decision. And this is what Abhishek Manu Singhvi has just told us, that they want the hearing to take place tonight itself, much before the next Chief Minister, that is B.S. Yediyurappa, is sworn in at 9 a.m. tomorrow. So the Congress realizes that if Mr. Yediyurappa is sworn in tomorrow, then all the explanation and the counter explanation will be put in place, and that they do not want to miss this crucial opportunity. They want a hearing in the Supreme Court tonight itself. So that's clearly a big development that is taking place. This coming after a formal letter was sent by the governor to B.S. Yediyurappa asking him to come in and take oath to office tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pallavi, now that the Congress is seeking hearing in the Supreme Court tonight itself, what can we expect in the next 2 hours?
Well, first of all, what we are being told is all the junior officers of the Congress party, as a junior, have reached the CGI's residence. They are also approaching the register first. Well, the appeal that they're really making, Maria, is that the Chief Justice of India has an urgent hearing tonight itself. What the Congress's game plan is very simple. They want a stay on the oath. They don't want the oath ceremony to take place. The fact is that a 15 days time limit being given to Yediyurappa is being seen by the Congress party as an attempt to allow a certain amount of horse trading to take place, and the Congress party feels that whatever little position that they have is going to be very difficult for them to hold on to their MLAs, both of the Congress as well as the JDS. So essentially, the brief which has been prepared by the Congress party, Abhishek Manu Singhvi, Vivek Tanka, all of them have been putting their brains on it, and their brief is that they've appealed through the registrar, through the CGI, to have an urgent hearing tonight on the matter, to ensure that, one, that oath does not take place tomorrow morning, and second, the Congress party must be given a chance to form the government first. So these are the 2 points which the Congress party is going to put forward before the CGI.
We heard what Randeep Singh Surjewala had to say a few minutes ago, Pallavi. He leveled very strong charges, and these are very strong words that were used against the governor as well. He had said that the governor had shamed the office of Raj Bhavan, and that the current governor is in fact the stooge of the BJP. Would you say that, the kind of charges that the Congress went ahead with as well, seeking the impeachment of the CJI, this will actually come through tonight?
See, the problem is that, legally speaking, the Congress party also seems to have burnt its bridges. I mean, it's interesting that Kapil Sibal is not leading the charge, because he had said he's never ever going to practice in the court of the CGI, So that's going to be one huge problem for the Congress party. However, having said that, the Congress, of course, is going to use, and in fact, at a press conference which Randeep Surjewala held a short while back, they've given documents, they've circulated documents. They're talking about the Goa example, they're talking about the 2006 example, of the fact that how there have been cases of the single largest party not being called to form the government. At the end of the day, the governor decides to call that party who he feels can actually provide a stable government, because they have the sheer numbers. And that's the argument of the Congress and the JDS. We have the numbers. We can actually provide a stable government. And when they do get that hearing, if they do get it at all from the CGI, see, the time is also running out. It's early tomorrow morning swearing in, so that stay may not happen. Will the CGI actually call for an early hearing? I mean, the Congress party has been very, very critical of the CGI as well. And, he's the master of the roster. He decides which bench is going to hear. So it's going to be a very, very tight call, really, for the Congress party. But at the end of the day, Maria, these measures which you take up are often that of political posturing. You want to send out a message that we are putting up a fight.
Yes, and they have been putting up a fight, Pallavi. And we saw what Sonia Gandhi did. You had reported on it first. Let me bring in Utkarsh now. Utkarsh, you spoke to Abhishek Manu Singhvi. Do you think the Congress would be getting a hearing from the CGI tonight itself? And how soon can we get that confirmation?
Mara, in fact, I would not want to second guess whether they'll get a hearing tonight or not. But as Pallavi rightly pointed out, it is more about political posturing. It is more about sending a message that we are putting up a fight. We have braved up the situation. We are there to fight this out to the hilt. There is a message which is inherent in this legal battle, which has not emanated from the political row over who would form the government in Karnataka. Now, therefore, Dr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi has decided to lead the charge. His associates said they have moved the registrar office. Registrar will have permission from the Chief Justice of India whether this matter warrants a hearing during the night or not, or that this can wait for the next day. Now, it is completely upon the Chief Justice of India for now to decide to take a call eventually whether the hearing has to take place immediately. Now, we have only seen in the recent past, we have seen the example of Yaqub Memon, that raw case, the hanging case. That was the only case where the Supreme Court, and in particular, this was the bench, not the Chief Justice of India, but it was Justice Deepak Mishra called to decide for that pre-dawn hearing. There were two hearings that happened during the night because Yaqub Memon was to hang the next day in the morning. But here the situation is different. Supreme Court has been considerate of giving a night at hearing at the midnight or a pre-dawn hearing when the question is about liberty of people. But when we talk about formation of the government, there will be questions that would be before the CJ also. Does it really warrant a midnight hearing? It's something that cannot wait until the next morning. There will be these are the considerations which the Chief Justice of India will have to take into account once the matter reaches him. It is for the registrar now to make a note of whatever contentions have been leveled in the petition, that why does this warrant an immediate hearing. All that note will be now put up before the Chief Justice of India, and he, exercising his authority as the master of roster, will have to now decide whether there should be a hearing during the midnight. Maria.
Utkarsh, stay with us. Sanjay Hegde, would you say that this actually warrants a midnight hearing?
It warrants or not, as Utkarsh said, is a decision for the Chief Justice of India to take. The Yaqub Memon was a different case because the man was to hang the next morning. If there was anything in his case which warranted further examination, there would have to be a stay on the hanging. Now, tomorrow morning, I believe that
this isn't about life and death here.
No. The swearing in of the new government is scheduled for 9:30 tomorrow. Court normally sits at 10:30. So maybe if there is anybody who makes a statement that no way the swearing in will not take place till you hear the matter in the morning, something of that may also enter into the calculus. But having known the Chief Justice personally and watched his work over the years, he is not a person who shies away from work. He's actually a glutton for work. If he determines that a hearing can be given, I'm sure that he can persuade some of his brother judges to sit with him. At the end of the day, it is a judgment call on the judge concerned, whether he is going to give a hearing or not.
Absolutely.
I have known cases of demolitions and things like that where judges have been in their nightwear when they've heard cases and passed status quo orders.
But to be given a hearing is what the Congress party is asking for. Yes. Pallavi, who all do we expect? Who are the senior leaders of the party who would be going to the Chief Justice of India? Because, you were...
advocates, you mean?
Yes, three leaders, of course, three advocate leaders, lawyer MPs perhaps, who would be going to the Chief Justice of India as and when that call comes.
Well, Abhishek Manu Singhvi certainly for one. He's the one who's actually leading the delegation. But they have been Randeep Surjewala, Vivek Tanka. All of them have played a very, very important role. So possibly they both the sides. 15 days is a long time, not just for Yedurappa, but also perhaps for the Congress JDS to decide whether they are able to keep their flock together. So it's going to be a challenging one for them. But Congress certainly would want a midnight hearing or at least a late night hearing to ensure that that stay takes place on the oath ceremony tomorrow, and possibly the Congress and the JDS should be invited by the governor to form the government. But all I can say is that there have been a series of press conferences from late tonight. All the legal luminaries of the Congress party have been a part of that, whether it's been Chidambaram or Randeep Surjewala, and of course Sonia and Rahul Gandhi micromanaging this entire. The message very clearly from the Gandhis is to the Congress party that you have to fight till the end.
And they are doing that, Pallavi. Utkarsh, when do you think we'll be able to know about it? By when? Do you think another 20 minutes, 30 minutes? Can we look at some kind of a timeline here?
Maria, here now we have to consider the fact that the junior associates of Dr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi, they have approached the registrar at his official residence. Now, along with the file and the note that the registrar prepares based on the grounds why the Congress has been seeking an urgent hearing of this plea, registrar will have to now physically move to the Chief Justice of India's residence, where that note would be put up before Justice Deepak Mishra, and then he can decide whether or not to grant an immediate hearing, urgent hearing of this plea or not. Now, that consideration of the plea, even if the Chief Justice of India decides that yes, we should grant a midnight hearing, he'll need to speak to the brother judges, he'll need to decide on the constitution of the bench. He may very well head that bench, he may delegate it to his brother or sister judges to decide whether they should be on that bench. So therefore, the constitution of the bench is also another task. So step one is to take a call whether this requires an urgent hearing or not. Step two is about the constitution of the bench, and then all the brother, sister judges who the Chief Justice of India thinks that they should be there on that bench, they will need to be spoken to. They will have to be available during the midnight when the hearing has to take place. So what I think is that this should take at least 30-odd minutes before the registrar reaches the CJS residence, and then CJS take a call on the urgency of the matter, and then about the constitution of the bench. What I presume that is going to be a hearing by not less than 3 judges. Therefore, CJS will need to speak to at least 2 more judges in case he decides to head the bench himself.
So it's likely to be a constitution bench. Sanjay Hegde? If we were to look at the situation,
is not necessarily required. This is an ordinary matter in the first instance. It's only later if they find a constitutional point which has not been decided that they would have to send it to 5 judges. Just as a out of memory, I remember one more hearing late at night in the residence of the judges. That was when the Babri Masjid fell in December 1992. I was a very young lawyer then. The present Attorney General, Mr. K.K. Venugopal, was then the counsel for the UP government of Kalyan Singh. There was a night hearing at the house of Chief Justice M.N. Venkatacharya, and Justice G.N. Ray sat with him. So urgent hearings at the residence of the judges much after court hours are not entirely unknown. The question, of course, is the perception of urgency, the perception whether the clock can't be put back or whether status quo ante can't be restored.
All right.
Here, once a government takes office, takes oath, then it would be a rare court which could say no, the oath is reversed.
Right, all right.
It may just be that the Chief Justice, this present Chief Justice, might just decide that it's worth hearing.
All right. Let's see what really the decision is. We'll know about it in another 25 to 30 minutes. Pallavi Ghosh, Sanjay Hegde and Utkarsh Anand, thanks so much for joining us. So all eyes now on the residence of Chief Justice of India, where the focus shifts for tonight. That's 5 Krishna Menon Marg, whether he will be hearing or giving a hearing to the Congress party. The Congress really wants a hearing to take place tonight itself. They are showing that urgency that this case has to be decided because BS